Hi everyone, it's Colleen and welcome to my YouTube channel and welcome to the YouTube Hop for a Cherry on Top. Today we're talking about all things monochromatic. What does that mean in general? What does that mean for each of us? And how can we apply it to our crafty selves? So let's get started. So monochromatic means having or consisting of one color or one hue. Colors could be thinking about the color wheel and your basic colors of red, orange, yellow, green, blue, and violet, and just sticking with that color combination or one, all blue, all yellow, all red. But it can also include hues. And hues means like, for example, burgundy has a red hue, teal has a blue-green hue. So it means that using the hues as well as the colors. I'm working with this 12 by 12 Tim Holtz Ideology palette collection of paper in pink. And I love this because I think this is monochromatic. What color do you see predominantly in here? They're hues of red, which is pink. But you do find a few other colors in here, and I wanted to talk about that. Like you see green, you see a couple other things. When you're first starting out with monochromatic techniques, you want to make sure you stay within its meaning. And as you get comfortable with it, you can venture out a little bit more and still stay within the monochromatic family, as you see me doing here. This is 90% one color hue. So now that I've talked a little bit about it, I'm going to show you the project I'm making today, which is a folded pocket. So it could be a card, it could be a folio, whatever you want to call it. So the first step is to trim the 12 by 12 paper down to 8.5 by 11. I try to use paper that can be flip-flopped around and not, it can go in more than one direction. And I'll explain that a little bit more in a minute. But we're starting by putting it on the score buddy widthwise, and we're scoring it 3. Now my score buddy is not very big, so I have to manipulate a little bit to get it scored. I wanted to explain that to you because I don't want this process to throw you off. If you have a larger score buddy, you won't have this problem. Now I'm measuring where 7 inches is because I have to score at 7 and my score buddy isn't wide enough to do that. So that's why you see me using the ruler, and then I'm going to score at 7. So a little bit more about this project. I got the inspiration from Liz, and I will put her YouTube handle in the description box, as well as the specific video that I was inspired to create this with. I didn't come up with this, she came up with this, but I wanted to use it because I think it's an excellent idea. I picture myself sending this to my granddaughter with little tiny things in there, including maybe even candy. And you'll see what I mean more in a minute when I finish putting this together. So now that I've scored twice widthwise at 3 and at 7, now I flip it lengthwise and I'm going to score it again at 3. So you're going to have a total of 3 scores here. And then we're going to end up putting it together. And while I'm putting it together, I'll talk a little bit more about monochromatic. So now you're going to see me struggling to find the folds and put it together. This is a busy pattern, so it's hard to see everything on there, and I wanted to make sure I got it right. But anyway, with monochromatic looks, don't hesitate to include white and black in that, because it can be very beautiful if it's done correctly. And I think the thing for me is when you're working with monochromatic colors, it's great to build texture and dimension, and because it adds interest. It takes your card from being flat to being wow, because you've added die cuts, you've added embossing, you've added all kinds of things to that project. So keep that in mind when you are thinking about creating a monochromatic look. Think about how can I add dimension, depth, and texture. Now, in the case with me here, there's plenty of it in here because that is such a busy pattern, and we are building dimension by creating these pockets, if that makes sense to you. But if you're doing a card, just add layers. And again, don't leave out white and black because that can be beautiful. I've done a white monochromatic card before and it was just gorgeous. So now you see that I have folded everything up, and I'm going to take this square in the bottom right corner and cut it out. We're going to use that square. And it's the smallest square in the fold, so that's how you know you're cutting the right square. And then I'm just trimming it down a bit so that the edges don't show the scoring on the little square piece. And then I'm going to set that aside because that will be used again later. Then you're going to see me use the rectangle piece above where I just cut, because we're going to cut there as well. So you flip it over and you're going to fold the corner over to the crease. Get as close to the crease as you can. Basically, you're going to be creating a little triangle. And that triangle, I am using my bone folder to score that because I want a clear cut, because that's going to be cut off as well. Now, it might take a little time to make sure you get this figured out. I made the mistake one time. I made one when I first did it, and I used paper that the designs can only be facing one direction, and I made it upside down. Lesson learned, don't do that unless you can figure it out, unlike what I did. So I'm trying to use paper that can be flip-flopped in either direction and it doesn't look like it's upside down, if that makes sense to you. And now we've got one more cut that we made. We're kind of breaking those two squares up, and you're going to see that the reason we're doing that is because we're going to be folding those up and creating pockets. When we're done with this project, there will be 5 pockets in all. So I will link everything in the description box, everything that we used. This Tim Holtz Ideology palette collection in pink. Oh, it's beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. As soon as I saw it, I thought, ooh, I need to buy that. And it's new. It's a new release item on the Cherry on Top store. You can get it at the Cherry on Top store. So now I'm starting to put everything together. I'm adding a little glue only to the bottom of that fold because I want to make sure that I secure it, but that I don't glue the open pocket pieces down. And I'm going to continue that process as I go along. And while I'm folding everything up, I wanted to let you know that we do have a YouTube hop going on with the design team members from A Cherry on Top. So please make sure you visit them and get inspired. Everybody's handle will be in the description box, and I think you're going to learn an awful lot by the end of these YouTube videos on monochromatic looks and how to use them to your liking, because you want this to work for you. What works for me may not work for you. So make sure you visit everyone so you get a variety of ideas on how to use the monochromatic technique. And if you don't have a color wheel, I suggest you get a color wheel because it really helps to visualize what these colors, how they work together. So now you see I finished folding everything up, and when I fold this in half, you have a card. That is so, you need a larger size envelope, but so what? It's gorgeous. You can put a bunch of things inside of it, send it to a Valentine, send it for a birthday with little treats inside. And we've got 3 pockets already, but guess what? We're going to have 5 pockets when we're done, because now we're going to add the triangle that we cut out a few minutes ago. We're only going to glue 2 sides, keep the 3rd side open to put little things inside of it. And then we're going to do a 5th one with that square. I'm not going to adhere the square because I need to die cut it before I adhere it, but I'm going to show you 2 pockets that I have finished so you can get an idea of what they look like completed. These are the 2 I did with the same 12 by 12 Tim Holtz Ideology paper pad. I still think these are monochromatic because they predominantly are in the red hue family. And you could see I added some white lace to this one and ephemera to add some interest. And you've got your pockets set up. I think I glued that one too much, so that won't fit in that pocket, but something smaller would fit in that pocket. Just be careful how much glue you use to adhere those pockets down. And here's a second one with black lace and ephemera, same paper pad that I use, monochromatic because you predominantly see red hues. and we have our 5 pockets. So this is such a wonderful idea to make and very easy. So I'm so happy you joined me today. Remember to hop along with everybody and have yourself a wonderful day.